Let's see if we're going. Are we on? Oh my. Oh, that is just lovely. I've got like apple juice in one glass here, and I've got hot tea with cinnamon in it. And when I smell them both, it smells like an apple tart. Yeah, it's like liquid apple tart. And if you drink them at the same, yeah, I'll probably burn my tongue or something. Hello and welcome to Jakob Live. Today I had a really uh, so I've been sitting and working on the episode that was supposed to be up on my channel last week, but I had back problems and I had problems uh, breathing from that. So I couldn't work with it. So I've been trying to crunch it now to get it done, and I just got it finished. And I started exporting it and uploading it, and it messed everything up. And then I saw what time it was, and I was supposed to stream now, so I had to abort everything. So I'm gonna upload this as soon as I'm done streaming. So, hello everyone, and today I just wanted to talk about what's been going on, like with the setup and how it feels right now. Because I can tell you right away that I'm super happy about how powerful this system is. How much easier it is for me now to edit videos. Actually, now that I've got the monitor right here, it just feels it feels amazing. And for those of you who were tuning in during the last live stream, you know how over the top happy I was. And I can tell you that there's also something that completely infuriates me to the point of me absolutely almost wanting to hurt myself over the fact that I wanted to get one of these. And I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to say what it is. What do you think that is so bad about the new iPad for me that I'm absolutely considering just like hurting myself? Not really. I mean, it's a sensitive topic. It's supposed to be a joke. It's a bad joke. But what is it that you think is infuriating me so badly with this iPad? Because everything is great except from this one thing, and it is really messing it up for me. So I want you to guess. So why don't you? Okay, yeah, I'm watching the chat here, and I know. All right, so Sasha says 11 inch. Samuel says the 3.5 millimeter jack. The lack of a headphone jack. Yeah, just keep guessing, everyone. I'll tell you right away. But the iPad is powerful. It is fast. I am doing some wonderful music production without hitting any real snags yet. I can sense where the wall is, where the brick is. Brick? Where I can sense where the limit is with this iPad when I'm starting to load a lot of plugins and stuff, but it's way more than I've been able to do on my old iPad. And right now my old iPad is shamefully lying down in bed, asking for forgiveness, but it's been a real workhorse under all these years. No home button, swiping up, push the screen. It's just too sexy. Alright, so I'll tell you, the headphone jack. The lack of the damned headphone jack is killing me. It's I'm going insane, everyone. I don't know what to do. I know what to do, but I'm too damned. I I just don't want to go out into a crowd right now. The, I don't. It wasn't too long ago that the government in Sweden started sending out SMS messages about what's going on in the world, and told everyone like, hey, you need to take this more seriously, because people in Sweden are pretty relaxed, and I can see how people from other countries might look at Sweden and say those people aren't taking this seriously. The thing is that we are. It's just that we are different. It's a cultural thing. We don't go berserk. I didn't mean that everyone goes berserk. It's just, it's weird. It's weird to be Swedish. I can tell you that. It's weird to be Swedish. We know that there's an outbreak. We're just very chill about it. even though we are also losing friends, all around us, but we're being chill about it. And right now, I just feel it would be a stupid idea for me to go out into a crowd just even though I can put on the mask, I can put on gloves, even though that I don't want to go out into the public unless I really need to, unless it's necessary, unless it's something I need for survival. And unfortunately, the headphone jack, it's starting to feel like I should get a dongle with a headphone connector for my survival. But yeah, I should just maybe just order something and have it delivered by the curb so I can go down and pick it up from the ground. But anyone who is right now considering getting a new iPad with the USB-C port, for crying out loud, make sure that you get a USB hub or something with a headphone connector to it, if you're like me, because I'm the kind of person that picks my stuff up, especially when it's as light as this thing is. This is super light to work with. And I used to walk around with my big iPad on my arm, and I'd walk around. I'll go into the kitchen, I'll pour me some coffee, I'll do the coffee while I'm looking through a video I'm editing or listening to music. So yeah, that's the thing. Yes, I know we don't have Amazon in Sweden, but you can order from Amazon. It's just that a lot of companies just refuses to ship to us. You don't need to have Amazon in Sweden to ship to us. Most of the stuff from China will ship to Sweden, and a lot of stuff from the UK and from Germany will ship to Sweden. But there's a lot of US companies out there that won't ship to Sweden right now. I don't know exactly why, but it's been like that for a long time. And then of course there are countries that lies down in like in the Middle East that won't ship here, and so it's not that we can't get stuff from Amazon, but I did find a company that sells the Basius hub. So let's bring that up because the Basius hub is the best choice, I think. Let's see here. Let's just bring up the Basius hub. Basius GN, I think it is 39F. That one. Where is it? Yeah, that one. Pictures. Come on, bring up a picture. So here's a Swedish company that sells those. And so if you are like me and like walking around with your new iPad Pro with a USB-C port, this thing snaps on to the side, and it even fits over Apple covers if you're using one of those. It has this magnetic thing you can remove and then just press that onto the corner. It even has holes for the speakers. It seems to be fitting both the 11-inch and 12-inch. That's why it's longer with more holes in it or something like that. So that's the one I'm gonna get because I don't want to get another. There are companies that make dongles that look like this, like the Apple ones in black. I hate white dongles. I don't like white dongles. I want black dongles. And there are a few companies that make them with the USB-C charging port. It doesn't do sync or anything as usual with these things. And then it has a headphone port. And I don't want to get one of those. I don't want to have one of those stupid things hanging around when I'm walking around because I'm gonna get snagged into something. So this thing definitely, yeah, it's a low profile because everything is snug, like fits snugly to the side of the iPad. So far I've been producing music, I've been making videos, and I can tell you that the video work, oh yeah, the video work has been exemplary. The biggest issue is when you're switching from the video app to a music app and then back again because the connection to the monitor can crash. And for those of you who didn't see last time, I'm using this thing, and it's an older, what do you call it? An older monitor, so it has that old DV. No, what is it? I can't remember what the name for it is. What's the name for that thing again? It's one of those old computer monitor connectors. And I also did get this one, and it has a connection for what do you call it? For network, but it's the wrong one because I was supposed to get the one that had the what do you call it? The other type of digital picture thing. I can't remember. What VGA, yeah, this one is for VGA, and then I wanted one for the other type, HDMI. Yeah, but this one doesn't have that. It only has the three USB hubs. It's basically USB hub with a network connection. So you can have a network in there. So I'm gonna have to get another one with the HDMI and test it out with my TV in the living room, because I don't have any HDMI monitors. But yeah, and I've seen some videos where people have where people have both HDMI and VGA connected at the same time to an iPad, and that actually works. Now, I don't know why you would do that, because there's no point. Because as far as I know, there aren't that many apps that can split to 3 screens, but they can split to 2, like LumaFusion here. So when you connect it to here and have that connect up, and it should pop up on screen there, and you just press this one, you get the video in full picture. Now, having another monitor connected through HDMI, that it will just show the same picture. I don't know if there's any Illustrator apps or anything that does that. Yeah, so this one is VGA, and this one was supposed to be for HDMI, but it's not. It doesn't have any one. So, all right. Yeah, that's right. Who needs this network connection? What's the benefit for it? Sasha, the network connection is always faster than the Wi-Fi. So I can't get the full bandwidth. If I upload a 5 or 6 gigabyte video file over a network, as like the hardware connected one with the cable, that will go 3 times as fast as if I'm trying to do it with Wi-Fi. Of course, it will go as fast if you do it through the YouTube app. Why? Because it will compress the video first, making it smaller, and then porting it up. I had a friend that told me, no, you're wrong. I upload with my YouTube app all the time. But that person didn't consider that it gets compressed before. When you're doing it on a network connection with a cable, YouTube compresses the video after you've uploaded. So it's just that it's faster. My wireless is not as fast as a cable. I'm not getting the full bandwidth. And especially if I want to throw, like right now with the iPad Pro and iOS 14, and how well that works with finding network connected devices. I have a big hard drive, a huge hard drive I've always had out in the living room by my router. Now I can now access those files over the network and throw files over. And if I do that over Wi-Fi, it takes ages. But if I do it over a, hardware connected network, it goes quickly. And by the way, I work with video, Sasha, so I have a lot of video to move over all the time. And before I got the iPad Pro here with double the amount of space, I usually needed to offload files from it because I didn't have enough space to finish my finish my videos. Now I have the same. Now I have double the amount of space. So on this thing, I'm keeping all the material on here until I'm completely done. And then I even have space to save some bits and pieces that I want to use in other videos. I couldn't do that before. But I haven't started increasing the load on the iPad. I'm still working the same way, so it just feels like I've upgraded in speed, and I've downgraded the time it takes to do stuff, and I can now do some pretty awesome projects. I want to play you something that I've been producing. All right, it's a synth track. It's like I've been playing this game called Cyberpunk. Now, if anyone has heard about that, you probably heard about all the controversy it is and how broken it is. And I really didn't care about how broken the game was when it came out, because I knew it was going to be broken. I was sure of it. I was absolutely sure of it. I was sure of that going in with my money. But a lot of people weren't, because they believed what the company told everyone that it was okay, it's gonna run good. No one was wondering why we didn't see any pre-release footage of the game on consoles. No one wondered that, right? Why? I wondered. I'm like, okay, so I have an older console and it doesn't run well on that one, but I've been playing that and I've been really inspired by the music, because the music in this game is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Do yourself a favor after you watch my live stream. Go and search for Cyberpunk 2077 music. You'll find loads of really good tracks. And if you're into this new, what do you call it, the new retro synthwave and the stuff coming out now in the 2020s, you're gonna find loads of tracks that you like. So I've been producing a little bit and I've been inspired by that. So I want to play that for you, if I may. Okay, I'm a bit annoyed by the swipe up, but I'm in training, because it turns out that the same thing works on the old iPad. So I've been doing that all the time with the swiping, the half swipe and the full swipe, to learn how the interface works, and I'm getting there. It's getting less annoying. I don't want to bite myself as much now as I used to. So let's load up this project, because I want to play this for you. I got an NVMe internal SSD, and then I put it in an enclosure. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting that too, so I can have it connected directly if I want, because the SSDs are so light also. I like that. Easy to bring with. We got Sasha Lessing. I don't know how to pronounce that. We got Sasha, we got Russ, Mr. Fung, Mike Lucas, Joey Helpish. Are you helpful, Mr. Helpish? Dimitri is here as usual. Hello, Dimitri. Hello, Dimitri. Have you been doing any... Am I remembering wrong? Dimitri, are you the one doing like drum and bass stuff? Am I remembering wrong here? You do drum and bass stuff, don't you? Drum and bass and trance and stuff. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong, Dimitri. Omanji is here also. Oh, we got Electronic Sounds Audio. Dean. My bro, we have another Swede in here. We got Samuel here. I just wanna read out some stuff. Clear gray sky. At some point you said $700. What the $700 what? $700 what? You can get a virtual home button. What? Really? Like, is that true, Sasha? Are you trying to troll me? Are you trying to troll me? Over the iPad settings? Really? I can do that? No, you're trolling me. Tout le monde pour faire de la musique. I don't know if I read that right, but your username is too long. I'm gonna call you Toot. So hello, Toot, and welcome to Jakob Live. It's in accessibility. Mike Lucas. All right, Sasha. Mike saved your ass. Saved your ass. He tells me you're not trolling me. That's cool. I'm gonna check that out. But let me play this track for you. So the track is far from done, and I have this track in the video that's gonna go up. So when you watch the video, when it goes up afterwards, after the stream, you're gonna recognize it. And right now I don't have any build-ups, I don't have any breaks, I don't have anything. So everything just happens. Kind of, yeah. But yeah, check this out. pretty cool, right? Okay, so I built this during I don't know, but it was during an evening. Okay, I was sitting there playing Cyberpunk, feeling really really bad because my back was hurting as shit, and I felt like I was procrastinating. I wasn't able to do anything. I was just lying down in a very weird, when you have a back pain and you find this position, it's a weird position. You would never ever sit like that. You look absolutely idiotic when you sit like that. But when you sit like that, like nothing hurts. So I was sitting there with my controller like this, and I was playing, and I heard this one track coming in when you're battling some people. So I was firing off my gun, jumping away with my augmented legs up in the air, slicing with my big katana. Yeah, it's a super awesome game when it works. And then I hear this battle music, and I'm like, oh, I want to make that. I just turned off the game instantly. Took up the iPad, realized I couldn't use my headphones, had to go into the room while my partner was sleeping, had to grab an adapter, I had to grab a USB sound card, I had to grab a set of headphones, plug it all in, and then after 20 minutes, fumbling around in the dark, of course, going back into the room and just producing this thing. It was so much fun, and none of it is wave right now. None of it is audio. None of it has been bounced. All of the synthesizers, all of the effects, everything is running right here. Uh, uh, this is what I wanted to talk about. How has then this thing been? I mean, how has this been going for me now? This setup, it's changed everything. I don't feel like I have any barriers. I'm happy that you like the music. This feels great, and I'm gonna keep playing the game because it's inspiring me to do so much. Now I will of course show you the plugins. I can see that you're asking about that, but I will show you what I'm using. So one of the synthesizers going up on my top list, the first one I'm presenting, you'll have to watch it to see what I'm saying about it, but I'm using one synth for all of the synth sounds. Okay, so let's go through them. Let's listen to them. That awesome this sound. This is Bliss Alpha. All right, this is Bliss Alpha, and I'm not using any effects to distort it or anything. This is Bliss Alpha. Okay, this is part of what makes this synthesizer sound so good. I've been wanting to do a proper review of it because it came out in February or something, and ever since I've been using it. It's great. I've been wanting to make music with it, but I didn't have any tracks where it would fit because there's so many sounds in here that sounds. It's got this really 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 gritty sound. No, Irvin, you are not late. You are not late. You are always on time when you turn up on these streams. I'm always happy to see you, so don't worry. So I've been wanting to find a track to use this on because every preset that I tried in here from the factory content, you see there is this, let's see here, it's called, if you go into the presets you can find bank A and bank B, and there are more presets also you can buy, but in bank A I found a lot of presets that sounded a lot like old computer music for me and old 80s synths and stuff. The guys from Bliss has been tweaking these to sound in a very very specific way, and when I started playing the game now, so many months after it's released, I realized what I should use this synth for. I'm so dumb. Now, so I'm just using a preset, okay? I'm just using a preset from here, and I think it's called. It was called Sirius, and then I messed it up. So what it actually sounds like is more like this, because I'm using two sounds for my bass, and the other one sounds like this. And together and then what's going on is I'm sending them to a group and I'm going into the group now, and I don't know if you can see that because it's kind of hard to see. But what I've got here, since my most favorite plugins are from FabFilter, okay? But there are no ways of using any audio unit, multi I/O systems, or anything inside Cubasis, so I can't use any side chaining. So I'm always using Woodpressor, which is a really good compressor. It has this very unique sound to it. I love this compressor. It's really, really good. And you should definitely go check that out if you want to do sidechain compression inside Cubasis. Otherwise, you have to set up this contrived thing with AUM and then do the sidechain with the FabFilter Pro C compressor in there, because AUM supports sidechaining. Or you could do like MIDI sidechaining. I don't want to. Oh yeah, you can't in Cubasis because you can't send MIDI to effect plugins. By the way, the latest update from Steinberg fixed a lot of issues with the AUV3s. Lars and the team has done an excellent job. I'm so happy they got it to this point. I've been working inside Cubasis 3 for a week now, and even after the update, I can feel everything. Yeah. So right now I am sidechaining the bass, but I will be sidechaining more of the stuff. So right now I wasn't sure if I wanted to have a full pumping sound on everything. So I just put it on the bass because I don't like when bass frequencies from the bass drum, because when they fight with the bass, because I always use bass drums that are just as heavy in the lower frequency spectrum as the bass sounds are, and that can be a problem. Many won't do that. They will filter out some bass from the bass drums. I never do that because I want the bass drum to feel heavy, not sluggish, but really like hard hitting. But then in a track like this, you kind of have to take the drums back a little bit, because there are other elements that just makes this type of music really shine. And in this case, it's the full sound wall that it creates with all the distorted bass sounds, the top bass and everything. You don't need to have it hit hard. We'll see. I'm not done with it yet. Now, if we look at another sound here, for instance, oh yeah, by the way, the drums, these are Cubasis drums, all right? These are just Cubasis drums. So I'm using the classic machines in a purchase, and I'm using three channels for the drums right now. I only have a hi-hat, a snare drum, and a bass drum. So that's pretty much it. There's not much yet. I'm using the LD1 for the hi-hat, and I'm using the classic machines SEC SEQ for the snare and bass drum. But let me play this for you. Okay, so this is the guitar-like sound. That sound is also bliss, okay? That's also bliss. It's bliss. It's bliss alpha synthesizer. One of the presets, and then I slightly tweaked it a little bit. If we check out the next sound here, the arpeggiator, I mean, you can already see that this is also bliss. And you can hear how overly wet it is, and it needed to be this wet to actually do something more in the track, because when I pulled down the wetness of the reverb, it just stood out too much. It's not supposed to do that. I wanted it to create this half ethereal feeling in the background, and so there needed to be a lot of wetness to it. And the way that I made it wet was by using okay, so I'm using two reverbs. I'm using Black Hole here for one type of reverb, and I'll play you what that sounds like by over exaggerating it. So you can hear how it's resonating. That's because I wanted to bring up that certain tone, and so I'm making black hole resonate on those frequencies just for this sound, because I wanted that to be really really heard in the track. I had this before I did that, before I made it resonate. The lead, the arpeggio just disappeared into the mix. So by making one of the reverbs resonate with that tone, it's just there in the background, but it's still, you can still hear it. And the other reverb is just there to really air it up, to blow some air into it, like a foam machine, like a foam machine. Never mind. And then that haunting lead sound is again bliss. Again bliss. It is a sick lead, and wow, I just love what the guys did with it. Ah, it's like it's got a comb filter on it. You can hear the comb effect, and it feels like it's supposed to, or as it's almost about to go out of control, but then it just pulls back right before that. And it's that edginess that makes it really really, you make it really really feel it. So let's just play the whole thing with the lead. It's just so lovely to listen to. Ah. Fuck that up. Fuck that up again. That's what happens when you go live. We're doing it live. I'm Bill O'Reillying this. All I need to do for this now is to add, I'm gonna produce like instrumental versions of this, and all I need to do now is also to see if I can make a short bit where I'm doing this track, just a short bit of this track where I'm trying to, I want to film like I'm saying so many words but I'm not saying anything. I want to make a small shitty video trailer, like one of those old synth pop videos, like a music video, and I want to do some really, the shitty type of really sour singing to it, because I think that if you add a little bit about talking about Klingons and other other things, and sing to this, I think it's gonna sound very genuine. I think it could be a fun thing to do. Actually, I love that type of music, and it was actually quite big here in Sweden, synth pop, and we have a lot of synth pop bands coming from this place. It's just, yeah, it's a childhood memory that lies very close to my heart, and I love this type of music. So what do you think? Do you think I should make an album out of this? Because that might be the next thing I start working on after I'm done with my vocoder album, sometime next year, because there's so much. You're hoping this will transcend to an album? Samuel is playing bingo. I used to do that when I was younger too, with my family. Everyone gonna go hit the arpeggiator and write some dark synth wave when you're done. I hope so. I just, games inspire me a lot to make music. I had this like thing that I did. It's music you never heard that I might play for you sometime. But I made this really like dark ambient music that was kind of inspired by Fallout and the Far Harbor update that came to that. basically like an expansion for those of you who don't know. For Fallout 4 is a game, an open world game, in an apocalyptic US of A, and then there was an expansion that kind of opened up a completely new map, and the music was very different there. And I just loved the atmosphere of that island with the fog and everything. So it just inspired me to make like ambient dark music for weeks that I never published, because I never get to a point when I'm making that type of music when I feel like I'm done, because somewhere in the back of my head I always feel like something is missing, you know, like voices or drums or something. I don't know. New wave post punk, new wave post punk. Speak and spell. Speak and spell. Russ, are you trying to tell me that I need to learn how to speak and spell? Please change the Agonizer app so the Vobulator pop-up window disappears by clicking on the what? The Vobulator pop-up. Please change the disappear by clicking on the background to hit done every time. Oh, you mean the done thing in the yeah. You know what? I'm gonna talk to Kai about that, because I also feel like many times I don't want to go up in a specific point. You're just tweaking something, right? And then I'm always like tapping somewhere else because I'm used to that in other apps. But in this case, it has that done thing. Yeah, you're right. I should probably talk to Kai to see if there is some way of implementing that, because that would be really nice. When I was making some, you know what? I'm just sorry, everyone. I'm just gonna note that for myself, so I talk to Kai about that, because I don't want to forget about that. I felt that too. Pop up, wobulator, tap, outside of box to go away. I know it looks really wait, you can't see that. It looks really simplistic, but yeah, for me it's very clear, and I always check my notes. So yeah, that's good. All right, I got that noted down. Got you, Teddy. Got you. No, speak and spell synth voices. Yeah, that would be nice. And by the way, if I want to do that, I do have a device here. I don't need to load a plugin, because I like doing that with hardware, and I do have a little device here which I could use, and that's the Pocket Operator. The Pocket Operator Speak. I've done that before, sampled the Pocket Operator. I've talked into it, done a little bit of sequencing with it, recorded that back into the iPad, and then chopped it up or something. That's a fun way of working, actually. So I might actually do something like that, because yeah, speak and spell type voices, like the retro robot voices, would fit into a track like this. Oh, don't worry, Teddy. I mean, I've been thinking about that myself. I actually would want that. All right, it makes a lot of sense. I like it when people are asking for things that make sense. Also, we have already put up one update that fixes a lot of bugs in, not a lot, because it didn't have a lot of bugs in Agonizer, but it did have some, and some of them were on certain devices that are smaller, where the keyboard seems to pop up over the wobulator. So annoying. But we are definitely working on that. And then there are some other things we're working on too. So yeah, it's gonna happen. Right now, Kai has been sick, so he hasn't been well. He hasn't been able to work for over a week now, and still don't know if it's good. And the problem is that his partner has started working now, so he has to stay home and take care of the child while he's sick, while he has to do the coding at the same time. So it's been hard for them both right now with everything, and I get it, because recently I had like a week of back problems and I couldn't do shit. Yeah, it wasn't funny, but we are definitely working on it, and I think we're gonna be putting out a new update sometime in January. It won't be long from now. Notes sync across iCloud, so I can use that all the time. Yeah, oh, sorry, I didn't know what you mean. Yeah, of course. I mean, I write my notes on my iPhone usually because it's faster. But then when I sit down and work, I always check the notes on the iPad. And if you're on a big iPad, like an iPad Pro or an 11 and a 12-inch, it's nice when you're using the side-by-side views. I think other iPads can do that too. A few years ago, only the big iPads could do that, but it's nice. You can have a slim view of the notes on one side and a web page on the other, or something else, and just work between that. I do that a lot when I do a lot of research. I'll tell Kai that, Mike. For some reason, when you mentioned video, I thought of Look Mom No Computer's new video. I have no idea why your brain works like that, Mr. Fung. But if your name is anything to go on, it might be because fungus. I was setting up a joke, and I just failed miserably. I don't even know what the point of that was. I'm sorry. When I was making some production courses about 10 years ago, the first thing the teacher said was finish your tracks even if they are bad. Yeah, I would agree on that too. Try to finish them. Try to force yourself to do that, because in the process you might learn to do something, especially when you're trying to solve a problem. You see, a bad sounding track is a problem. That's how you evolve, by solving problems. I've talked about that so many times, and whenever you hear me being interviewed by someone else and they ask me how do you stay creative, how do you keep doing videos, what would you say to anyone getting started, I always talk about that. Keep yourself creative by solving problems. And if you have a track that doesn't sound good, then hey, you need to find out why, because finding out what doesn't work is just as valuable as finding out what works, because now you can put that to the side. Go the scientific route. Just disprove yourself. No, this track is not bad. I'm gonna prove it, or disprove that this track is bad. It's fun, unless the track is just some stuff that you recorded the day before because you've been drinking too much, like I did in the past when I was drinking a lot before I got sober. I probably told you about this, but many times I made stuff, during the evenings, drunk as I don't have a word for drunk as a skunk. Drunk as a skunk, can you say that? I've never seen a skunk get drunk. Uh, what would that look like, by the way? I don't even want to search that on YouTube, because I'm sure that some miserable person has probably at some point decided to feed a skunk some alcohol, and that's just horrible. I don't want, no. Let's forget about this, and let's talk something else. Today I'm gonna have to cut the live stream short, because I wanna. There's so much I have to do, and here in Sweden we usually celebrate Christmas tomorrow, so I need to get this video out that I'm working on today, and then I need to finish up on a few projects, because I really, really, really want to be like, I don't want to look at my phone, I don't want to look at YouTube Studio, I don't want to look for comments, I don't want to do anything but nothing. I want to do nothing tomorrow, absolutely nothing, be completely free with a day off. So not gonna be as long as of a stream today. Speak and Spell is a kid's toy to teach speaking and stuff. Yeah. Sup, Uncle Tom? Sup, Uncle Tom? Sup, Uncle Tom? How you doing, Tom? Are you feeling good? Feeling good? Are you at work now, or are you able to relax a bit? Let's see here. Speak and Spell. For anyone who doesn't know, and for anyone who wants to know more, I did this video on the Pocket Operator 35 Speak, and in that there's a segment with Magnus, who made that computer plugin, a plugin for computers that was based on the Speak and Spell, but as an effect. And then he also coded the whole thing for the actual Pocket Operator and things. It's a really interesting one. It's long too, but you could just watch the documentary about him and his work with that. That's 11 minutes or something. So this is a speak and spell. I've never owned one original one myself, but I think I've had a few copies. Actually, like not the real deal because a lot of companies were copying these a while, during the 2000s or 19s or something like that. I think I got like a few of those, and I broke them because I was hacking them basically. Yeah, when you put knobs and all kinds of stuff into them. I had a whole period doing stuff like that. Chillin', that's nice to hear. Would you recommend Arturia Microfreak for synthwave kind of sounds? Here in Spain, we also celebrate Christmas tomorrow, so happy holidays. Yeah, happy holidays. Uh, the Microfreak can definitely do synthwave sounds. Definitely. It has a harsh tone to it, uh, kind of like the Bliss synth has. So, yeah, it would work for that. Absolutely. There's just some things I would not be. I don't know. I think I haven't explored it too much when it comes to arpeggiators, because arpeggiators is not something I often use. But when I do music like this, yeah, and normally I don't do music like this. It's not that often. It was many years ago that I did. Yeah, like right when I started out, um, getting into computer music and trying to get that to work with my hardware synthesizers. That's when I started using it. So I had a Nord lead at some point where I made a lot of synthy stuff with like brass sounds and things like that. But yeah, definitely you can do a lot with the Micro Freak. It's paraphonic, four voices. Uh, yeah, so if you want to do like chords and stuff, you can. You can't do five notes, but you can do four, so you can definitely do that if you want. Um, yeah, absolutely. If you want something like that, and the Micro Freak is interesting because you can do so much with it. It's got a very full engine in there, very full engine, and it's very digital too. So if you want to get harsh sounds out of it, you can. If you want the FM synthesis out of it, you can. It's got all the types of engines. Even though every engine is very kind of limited in basic controls, so it's not like you get a full set of the FMs of an FM synthesis with four operators where you can do everything with it. It's not like that, but it's still a very powerful synth. You got the NTS one, Samuel? Oh, I'm jealous. I'm confused about price. It seems very powerful synth, but it's not very expensive. No, but look at it. It's very simple. The moving parts on that synth are knobs, okay? And those knobs are encoders, digital encoders. These are not analog stuff, okay? So that's why they're not expensive. Digital encoders are cheaper usually. You can get some really expensive, high grade, military grade digital encoders, and they will be very different, and they will cost. One knob can cost you as much as one microfreak, right? But when it comes to making stuff like this type of market with small portable gear has really been like it's increased in market value over the years. And the past 5 years, it's just gone exponentially like that. Every company wants to get in on it. Every company makes smaller devices, so they made this one unified thing, uh, which is easy for them to make now, to have pressed, easy for them to make the chassis. It's not metal. It's there are no keyboards, so that's not expensive either. I mean, it's a capacitive sense capacitance. It's not a keyboard like on my Minova with keys like that, and the knobs are encoders. So yeah, they're able to press down price. It's the same with the IK Multimedia Uno synth. I mean, it's a full synth with the full everything full, and the analog stuff in there, like filters and other stuff like oscillators, those are analog, but the rest of it is a computer, right? And then you can just use encoders, which gets cheaper too, and you minimize the amount of knobs. Look at any company doing stuff like this, and you can see how they can now produce cool gear at a very low cost. But if you build something like a hardware Moog synth or a hardware a modular or something else, it's a smaller scale that you're building it. Every part costs much more. They're choosing usually the highest grade of stuff. So instead of buying a capacitor for a tenth of a cent per each, or even a tenth of a tenth percent per each, because they're buying thousands, now suddenly a capacitor that you want for the filter might cost you half a dollar or a dollar. You see, like those things really matters when you're building gear. I know because I've built gear, and I know what happens when you buy the cheapest stuff and put that into something you put a lot of time into, like my Dubmaster. That thing is wood with a metal bottom, with a metal top, aluminum. It's been CNC cut, milled and drilled. It's got analog pots, but I did the stupid mistake of purchasing faders of the cheapest sort, and they are bad, and so they make the entire unit bad. Everything else was expensive in that thing. That fader though that I'm using, all of those faders on that Dubmaster, it's just bad. So if I would have built everything like that, I could have built it in a plastic box, used very simple tool at home, not have stuff CNC milled and drilled. It would have cost me less. I would have made basically the same thing, but it wouldn't be as cool and as heavy, and but if you don't need that, then there's really no need. I'm looking at like the Sonic Liven. If we're talking about hardware, let me get this thing. Like this thing, it's light, it's plastic, it's got keys, kind of like very similar keys to something on a keyboard, like one of the Korg nano controls, nano key studio ones. It's got some analog pots in here actually, so they put money onto that, but the rest of it doesn't have to be expensive. What gets expensive is when you start adding in analog things into it, like pots and connection ports and filters and stuff like that. If you're making it completely digital in plastic, you can get the price down, and if you make more units, bigger batches, you can get the price down even more. And that's why it's something like this one, which is an extremely powerful synth, really cool synth with a sequencer, 64-step sequencer, and you can do so much with it. It doesn't cost you anything. It costs you $200? It's so much worth the money. Microfreak is worth its money. The AGONIZER multimedia worth the money. So this one definitely worth the money. You're spending almost nothing. I think it's pretty amazing. And then there is another company that I'm not fond of the company, but they've also gotten in on the market, and they're making everything that everyone else is already making just cheaper. So yeah, that's why it's cheaper. Did I talk about this? Am I the only one who think of the Depeche Mode album Speak and Spell? No, you're not the only one. I mean, I listened to Depeche Mode when I was younger. I sometimes think about that. I sometimes listen to that. They basically paid nothing for the engine of the Microfreak 2, so it's not like they had to worry about paying for that. No, but wait a little minute. Wait a minute. This is not a case of them just taking an engine just as it is and putting it in. They also did something with it. You kind of have to. And they did more with it. The more time went, the more updates we got, and they've changed stuff in it too. This is a common thing that companies do, and you can debate that, how good and bad that is, depending on who's doing it. Sometimes it's worse when someone else is doing it than when someone else is doing it. But they had a falling out, I remember, right? The Arturia together with the original creator for the can someone give me the name? I can't. Yeah, good to see you, Russ, and welcome back to the next live stream. I can't remember the name of the original software, but look at this. It's the same thing when Myrac came out. Everybody said, "Oh, it's just a copy of the VCV rack," And no, it's not. That one started out as VCV Rack, but then it turned into something completely different. The code is completely changed. It's something new. The developer worked his ass off on that. And then, unfortunately, the original developer of the VCV Rack said something online. I don't care what it was right now, but didn't like that the thing for that the MyRack thing existed. In this case, I don't think they're not competition really, because VCV Rack wasn't available for iOS at the time either. So MyRack is only available on iOS, right? But I can understand how someone is making something, then someone else takes something and makes something of it. It's an interesting discussion to have. But also remember this, that without sampling, we would have nothing of what we have today. Okay? So we sitting here right now, you looking at the screen, me looking at you. Well, if I do this, I'm looking at you. We have all sampled everyone we've come across in some way, whether it's our language, whether it's the food we eat, whether it's the system we believe in or something, the way we talk, the phrases we use, the music we listen to, the music we make. We borrowed something from everyone, right? Without sampling, without being able to borrow from someone. I'm not talking about ripping someone off now. That's a completely different thing. But if you're plagiarizing someone, that's shitty. If you're ripping someone off, just taking a product, not changing it, selling it, then that's a bad thing. That is usually bad. But if you're taking something, you're adapting it, you're making something new of it, that's progress. And we need that. We need that. And that's why I think it's so dangerous sometimes when we start discussing these things, because a lot of people will just go out and say that, no, that's just theory no matter what. And that's a dangerous mindset, because without sampling, I call it sampling because that's what it is. Without sampling, we wouldn't have what we have today. We wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have a Mars rover. We wouldn't have gone to the moon. We would not have iPads. We would not have apps. Even me, I'm borrowing. Think about Agonizer. Think about Agonizer. Have you ever thought about, if anyone knows that, but if we bring up Agonizer synth, I'll show you something here. This is gonna go into the documentary, which I'm still working on. But if I show you Agonizer, you know what? I'm so stupid. If I just bring you Agonizer, I'm gonna bring you Agonizer. Agonizer, all right? So if you look at Agonizer, and it's got like kind of a yellowish golden tone to it, and it's got nice lines and stuff, okay? I was inspired by a modular company who makes modular stuff for Eurorack, okay? Because in my mind, they make the nicest looking modules in the world. And I'll show you that now. I'll show you that. I love what this company does. And if I had money, I would spend money on these modules even if I wouldn't use them, because I think they're so lovely to look at, okay? Just look at these things. Yeah, come on, I just want a big... Can you... Oh, come on, okay. Look at that. Can you see where I got the ideas of lines, graphics, the color? You see what I mean? Is this a bad thing? I don't think so. Imitation is the highest form of... I'm trying to say that I love this company. I love the graphic designer of this company. And the Arbhar, I want that. I want that so much. I want it so much. When I talked to Andrew Huang on the phone, he told me about that thing. Did you know that it's got stereo outputs? It's a modular with stereo outputs. That's very unusual, you know? I just love this thing. I want this thing. I want this so much. So that's what I did. I looked at Instro and I did this. See what I mean? I didn't copy their design. I used it as an inspiration to build upon. And that is important for our society. We need to be able to build upon our older ideas so that we can make the future possible. Otherwise, it's going to be a bleak, very uninspiring, unevolving future, and that wouldn't be good for anyone, not for our for kids in the future, not for anyone, having to stick to this one thing. And I don't like conformity. I fight conformity. Don't put me in a cage. No, nobody puts baby in a corner. That's from a famous documentary that I watched once. It's not from a documentary, is it? Where did I get that quote from? Who puts a baby in the corner? Why is the baby in the corner? Why is baby in the corner? I don't get it. Wait, isn't that from a gangster flick? Oh, suddenly it makes more sense to me now. I'm so silly. Guys, and if there are any females here, guys and girls, or women and men, and everyone in between, and whatever anyone wants to identify with, I accept everything. I have to go. I really have to go, and I need to push this video out that I finished. So stay tuned on my main channel, because within 2 hours or something it's gonna be up. And if you can't see it today, watch it tomorrow. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here. So much. Need this for my rack. Yeah, I want this for my rack too. I want it. I want it so much. Okay, I gotta run, everyone. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. As a final thing, I can just say that, yeah, I don't know exactly how much they did with the Microfreak engine, how much they changed it. All I can say is that if the synth is good. The synth is good. It's very cool, and I really like it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I gotta unplug, and I gotta find a way. So happy holidays, everyone, and I hope that you get some nice treats during this holiday. I don't know. Everyone here might not be celebrating this type of. I don't celebrate at all. I don't celebrate my birthdays. I don't celebrate any kind of holidays, really. I just take my time off because everyone else is taking time off. I've always been like that. Yeah, I know. I'm a boring, miserable idiot, but I don't care. I never cared about holidays, really. It's a day for me. So tomorrow, whatever day is in the week, that's the day it is for me. And everyone else always have to remind me that, Jacob, it's this thing now. Oh, wait, did you know that it's Easter? And I'm like, oh, that's why I'm seeing chicken gear all everywhere. Why everyone is dressed out, and why they have eggshells on their face and stuff. Maybe they don't wear that. They added a vocoder if nothing else. Yeah, Mike, I did a video testing out some microphones with the Microfreak, and it really matters, the microphone you're using, the type of microphone you're using. With the Microfreak specifically, don't use microphones that are heavy around. If you didn't buy the Microfreak vocoder microphone that they're making, if you want to use something of your own with a TRRS connector, don't get anything that enhances bass, because the vocoder, it doesn't sound good with that one. We will finger our stuff, yes, and I almost said I will finger myself, but I'm not going to do that. I don't do that. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. I need to think before I speak, but it's not a strong side of me. So I need to go. I need to go get something to eat, and I need to push this video out. Sorry for just streaming an hour, and anyone tuning in afterwards, thank you for being here. Sorry you missed the live thing, but I'll see you later. So this has been Jakob haQ Live. We've been having some fun. Stay tuned for the video on my main channel. And until next time, take it easy, alright? Just chill. Chill. Watch a movie or something. Watch a movie. I think I'm going to be watching Blade Runner. I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077, and then I'm going to watch Blade Runner, the original from the 80s, and also then I'm going to watch the other Blade Runner, because I like them both. I think they're great. and I'm thinking about watching some other movies. I have this list of movies here. So anyone, I know I said I was gonna go, but so why don't you tell me if you like any of these movies? So here are some movies that I've found references to in this game, in this Cyberpunk 2077 game. Um, I'm just gonna do this Cyberpunk 2077. Bring that up. I wrote 2077. Yeah. Let's just do that. Okay, so I'm playing this game. Whatever. I'm playing this game, and I've found references to RoboCop. I love that movie. When that came out, that was one of the most gruesome, awesome experiences ever. Blade Runner, the original, and the new one. Terminator, Johnny Mnemonic, because of course we got Keanu Reeves in here, and I love that he's in here. He's a perfect character for something like this. We got The Matrix, of course. Total Recall, love that one. Running Man, absolutely love that one. Scanners, oh, I love Scanners. Alien, the original one, I can find some references there. We got Chappie, it's a newer video by Neil Blomkamp, and he also made District 9. That's a really good movie, you should watch that. And then Elysium, there's some references there, and I like the cybernetic, the exoskeletons that they're using. And then, of course, there's a newer video or movie called Code 9. It's also like cyberpunk-ish, but it has to deal with people with superpowers also. And then there is this movie called Anon, and that's a typical classical cyberpunk video. So go back, listen to what I'm saying here. If you missed any of these movies, go watch them. Some of them are on Netflix in the US at least. I know that because if you're in Sweden, you have to use a VPN to watch videos because they will not. Oh, is that nudity? I hope that's not nudity. I don't want to get banned off YouTube. So bye bye everyone. I'm gonna go. Let's talk something else the next time. I'm gonna be streaming shortly during the holidays, of course, on a Wednesday, and we'll just talk about something completely different, non-music related, anything that comes to our mind. So whatever ideas you might have, just come back on Wednesday next time. If you're not with your families or anywhere else, if you're stuck at home like most of us are now during these times, just show up then. So take care everyone, and this is me looking stupid while I'm trying to find the off button again. Um, is this still going? Is this still going? When is it gonna end the stream? When is it happening? It can happen at any point actually.